Welcome to Search Talk Live with search engine optimization and marketing experts Robert O'Haver and Caleb McKelvin, powered by the Robert Palmer family of companies.
This show is actually going to be so exciting. I've got a couple of awesome guests with me. And also I've got Caleb McKelvin.
How's it going, guys?
Good. And they need no introduction, but I'm going to go ahead and just... We got Tom and Dan from Corporate Time with Tom and Dan on 104.1 and the podcast, Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan. How's it going, guys?
What's up, man?
It's good.
How you doing?
Everything's going well, man. Thanks for having us.
Thanks for coming.
Way nicer studio than we have. My God.
We're not used to this.
No, we like to look like professionals here, so we keep it classy.
It's so clean.
Yeah, I've noticed a lack of dust and or dirt here, which is, I think, one of the first things that you need to think about when you're thinking about SEO is keeping yourself clean.
Keep it clean. That's what you got to do.
That's what I think.
That's all you got to do.
Step one, take a bath.
Okay, guys, if you want to call into the show, you have your questions about search engine marketing, search engine optimization, or maybe social media, the number to call is 855-722-0006. Again, the number is 855-722-0006. Sorry. I have an echo here. Hold on. Okay. All right. So, guys, what's going on in the world of Tom and Dan?
Well, let's see. This is the last thing we are going to do for today. So now we're super happy about it. We're hoping that maybe there'd be some beers, but we figured, I don't know if that's frowned
the second
upon.
Rule of I should preface. That's our second rule of search engine optimization. Is first rule, take a bath. Second rule, grab a beer. Three, try to get listed as high as possible to maximize your company's results using the World Wide Web.
That sounds like the recipe for success for SEO. Definitely.
Let me ask you guys a question about SEO, because here's the thing. Daniel does majority of what I like to call computer stuff.
Yeah,
and
that's the technical.
That's the technical.
Are you guys familiar with quote computer stuff?
Yeah, I've read some stuff.
He sits in front of the box, and then
the glowing television, as I believe you call it.
Then there's waves, wavy, and then he pushes some buttons, and then people listen. So that's about all I know now. But about search engine optimization,
I can't believe you got through that.
Back in the day, it was under, and maybe this is just for YouTube videos, but I thought you were just supposed to list like hundreds of words so that people click on your videos, like girls, hot girls, race cars,
bikini. You think the things that guys in Florida like, they'd be like bikini, beer, NASCAR. You try to think of anything.
Dale Earnhardt, and you just go through and you list like thousands of words, and then you put it in, and all it is your video.
And if you're a radio show, you think, you go, Howard Stern, blah, blah, blah. You list everybody popular.
Just to try to get someone that's searching that to click on your video. Or the other trick I know, and this is, I don't know, you could write this down if you want to. When you post a YouTube video, no matter how boring it is or whatever, you just put a picture of a hot girl in a bikini in the middle, just like as a pop-up real quick.
Well, as one frame. And then when you go to choose, I think it's every 3 to 9 seconds or something. When you go to choose the frame that you're going to make your cover photo or your preview file or whatever you want to call it, you make sure and choose that one. And you trick people. And then you write... Then you write, what happens next will blow your mind.
That's all, right? Exactly.
Isn't that what you do?
Exactly.
That's all you need to know.
Yeah, those are advanced SEO tactics, as we like to call them. Advanced SEO tactics. We can't go that far just yet.
If you're listening, write all that down. That gets them good. Even you put like a video of like your T-shirt company that you put on, like you have some sort of a tuner car company. We want to put videos of your drag racing, just hot bikini girls. And then Howard Stern all in there.
That'll gain some traffic for sure.
Well, I can give you a little insight on YouTube because I have a YouTube channel, and you're right. Titles and the picture of they have up there is definitely clickbait. It's what you put on there, but to get those to rank high in those things, there's tags, titles, and descriptions for YouTube. So what you want to do is, a lot of people for viral stuff is they'll research, they'll go through YouTube and they'll find videos that are getting a lot of views, a lot of shares, and that type of thing. And they'll look for a topic that way. And then to optimize those is you're going to probably take, if it's, depends on what it is. If it's buy one, it's whatever it may be. I don't know.
Sure.
You'd want to title
People Are Awesome videos. Have you seen those? And just People Are Awesome, and then in 2015, and then it's some girl doing a split at the beach, and then some guy base jumping, and it's just a bunch. I just watch it. I'm like, yes, this is
I like the fail videos. I watch those too. I'm more negative than him.
I do like those. I like a good laugh. Watching
Fail
people
Army.
fail makes me feel better about myself.
Since you have a YouTube channel, I'll hit you with this. I mean, not that I don't know if we're adhering to what you wanted to talk about, but I'll just ask you.
Oh, it's open.
We did a viral video. We obviously, I think one of the most difficult things that I think we as Tom and Dan are working with our own clients. One of the most difficult things that we've ever had to do is to try and convince clients that we work with that when you intend on making a viral video, that's very difficult. Just by design, viral, if it's not found by accident and then blows up, it's just not going to work.
Yeah.
But we did one. We thought it was funny, and then it did. It caught fire. Jay Leno picked it up when he was just doing the regular Jay Leno show. Attack of the Show picked it up. Ridiculousness on MTV. The Rob Dyrdek.
Rob
Dyrdek. He picked it up.
RooTube
RooTube in England picked it up, and then we started having a lot of other guys grab the video, steal it, put it up on YouTube for themselves. But they were getting more and more hits than even we were on the original video because maybe they, changed it a little bit.
Or just cut out our tag. Because the original, we made it so that we could promote our podcast. And we set out, we were joking around on the show, and we were like, how can we make a viral video? Because like Daniel said, you can't really go out and make a viral video. It's one of these things that happen. You're like a big fat nerd waving a lightsaber, and then everybody's like, I'm going to make fun of you.
That is awesome.
10 million hits. But so we were like, okay, what's in a viral video? We're going to make it short. Put a Lamborghini in it because we had a buddy that owned a Lamborghini. Put a hot girl in a bikini. Make it weird.
That's the formula.
And then we came out, and the viral video, the original one's actually called Trombone, and then the T word for girl. Upper.
Those things.
So I don't know what we can. Thumb up, thumb down, engineer. Okay,
are we good? Well, they're carting me out.
So and then it become Trombone American or whatever. But so it's funny though because we made that video. We didn't put any blatant marketing on it except for a little tagline at the end. But because it looked raw, I think that's why it spread so fast. Because when people know that you're doing it on purpose for marketing reasons, then no one wants to spread it because they're like, I see what you're doing, and people are like, they want to hate on it. They're like, this guy did this for just commercial reasons.
Right.
It's like the Jimmy Kimmel fake girl catches her hair on fire twerking video.
Right.
Like that video because he made it so dumbed down and he made it so average that
it's just amateur. It was just an amateur cell phone video.
It actually worked. Ours worked. What most people ended up doing is just cutting our website address at the end out. And then it made car blogs, it made a Spanish television show actually stole it and then claimed it was theirs and put it in their television show. And at that point, there's really, what are we going to do? Are we going to call our attorney and try to track down these kids in Spain that are making money off of our video?
Didn't help us at all, by the way. Had millions of views. Now nothing out of it. No, not at all.
Oh, man.
Nothing. Which is better. I like that better.
Yeah.
I like failure better. I'm just like, yes, nothing.
That was fun. Yeah. That was a good time.
But to ask you guys, okay, and maybe you guys, because I've always wondered this, and we have the YouTube advertising on our videos,
the monetization.
Yeah. And I think we, I don't know how many hundreds of thousands of views we have on all our videos put together, but recently we just put our first money in our bank account. And what was it, $387?
It was about $387, but that was over from the beginning of our podcast, A Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan, so about 6 years.
Yeah. So about 6 years we made $387.
Now I don't, I'm okay with that considering it's a free,
right?
Yeah.
$300.
Right. Yeah. But then I hear about PewDiePie and these other YouTube sensations, and they're like, this guy it came out that he made like $7 million a year.
Yep.
And so, do you guys know? Is it an equation? Is it actually a hard line? Like you get this much per click, or is it like some equation that the more clicks you get over a certain amount, then you start getting paid more, and that whole thing, is it all completely random? Do you know how that works?
Yes. How it works is it goes off of interaction to the person viewing your video, the likes, and, the clicks, obviously clicks to the ad. And that's all. That actually gives you detail on that on the analytics side. But usually it averages around $1 per 1,000 views.
Okay, that's perfect. That's finally the number that I never knew. So $1 per 1,000 views.
Well, that makes YouTube useless to us. Apparently,
because then if you're not getting millions,
it doesn't matter.
No one's gonna really start up nowadays, and I'm gonna start up a YouTube channel and make a living off of it. I don't know how you guys feel but it's great marketing and for like smaller deals for sure. But if you're just gonna be entertainment based, is that over now? Like, are we so saturated?
You mean the sweet spot of YouTube entertainment stars?
Yeah. Do you see anybody starting up a YouTube channel now and making as much as these guys that started at that sweet spot of YouTube?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that it can be done. The secret to is being, repetitive and keep consistency.
Yeah.
On putting you put out a certain day at a certain time. Then you start to build a following and sharing, and then that will build up from there. I mean, with mine, I started out, it took forever to get to 100, but now it just seems like it's building and building and building. But,
nice.
And it helps to have a good social media following so you can share that information. But as you continue that, and if you're consistent and you're good at writing titles and those images, because most of those people view it on a mobile phone. So they'll see those images as they're scrolling through the videos. So if you make a catchy title and you optimize it with a description of what the video is, the text side of it, Google will index that and you'll rank it high. I've got several videos that are up there pretty high for SEO and stuff, and it's all about the tags, the description, and the title you write. So
gotcha. So but. 7 million a year. That's an anomaly.
Nobody's gonna make that. No, and it's all about your social media. If you do have a YouTube channel, social media is basically your army. They got to share it with their followers. If you don't have a good social media presence, then it's just not going to take off. And you got the guy who did the Leave Britney Alone video, that whole thing.
Chris Crocker.
Yeah, that whole thing. And now he's got millions in followers and stuff like that. It's ridiculous what actually takes off. I mean, you can put out this awesome video as a company or whatever it may be, and then you got a cat playing with a yarn ball and people share it billions of times. So it's all about your social media presence, but I mean, nobody's going to get to that $7 million level, especially our attention span is shrinking every single day. And
there's also in the settings you can actually set up to where while they're watching a video that you have, you can have it to where another one of your videos will show as an ad, but it's free. And also Google will recommend it to people for free. There's settings for that. So that helps a lot, too.
Can I just ask you guys some questions? Because now I'm getting flooded with questions.
Please do.
I don't know. Listen, you guys are the experts. You guys invited us on, I feel like, to talk about some of the stuff we do, but we know nothing. You guys know. So let me ask you this, because me and my wife were having a just yelling argument the other day about this Facebook.
Does this dress make her look fat? Here is a picture.
It's a dress, blue or gold. So So I was saying, my wife, I was saying, if I make a post on Facebook, it goes to all of my friends' walls, right? Every single person that's following me goes to the wall. And my wife was under the
No, you need to correct yourself. It's not their walls.
What is it?
It's their feet.
Their feet.
Because on their wall, they can put something on. Somebody else could go there and put a picture on your wall.
Yeah.
But you see the difference?
They have their news feed where everybody else's stuff comes through.
Yeah, the people that they follow.
Right.
And now it's different because you can friend people and you can also follow people. You don't necessarily have to be their friend.
Yeah, you can follow them and you get directly updates from whatever they're doing, which I don't know why somebody would do that. But, yeah, you could definitely follow them, and their stuff will pop up every time your news feed comes together.
So the goal is to put something in when you post it, if you're looking to go viral with it. Is that what your question is going to be?
Yeah. My question is, I have a fan page as opposed. I got a personal page and a fan page. I got two because I know we should all just go to one fan page, but me and Daniel, we liked having the options of using the personal page. We filled that up with 5,000, and you could do a lot more with that than you can with the fan page, right?
Right.
So we just both started another fan page and just filling that up. It's unlimited, but whatever. So when I post stuff on the fan page now, because Facebook wants to monetize and they want you to pay to boost posts and things like that.
Yep.
Right.
So when I post that now, say I think I got 6,000 or 7,000 people on my fan page. So when I post on that page, it doesn't go to every single person that liked my page, right?
If they liked your page, it'll show up.
It'll show up in their feed.
It will. Okay.
It will.
So then why does it say the amount of people reached? Like if I boost one, or like one time it says like, usually when I post it says it reached 1,700 people, but I got 7,000 on there. And then other posts that may be more popular, it says it reached 5,000 or 6,000. Explain to me that.
Because not everyone sees it.
Okay, so it's just the people to see it,
right?
And how do they? Just because it's on their feed.
So they call it impressions. If it makes an impression on them, if they actually see it on their page, then that's your reach. So each impression counts as a reach.
Yeah, so they may not be on, and the feeds keep coming in. It'll just be buried, and the other people won't see it.
Is this stuff that you've already covered, and now you have listeners that are like, "You idiots, man!" And now we're back to
turning this off.
No, but with posting on Facebook, you can get some of the cheapest clicks possible.
Yeah,
if you know what you're
definitely.
Doing. We've gotten them as like low as 3 cents a click.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, you can get so specific with who you're trying to reach, especially as a company, to how they spend their money, what they're buying, who they listen to, what they do, what they watch on TV. You can get so specific and reach only those people that your cost per click is going to go down because you're reaching people that actually want to read your content or look what you have going on. And so instead of just doing, the whole United States or whatever, you could be reaching people that just don't care. Instead, if you go as specific as possible, then you're actually making impressions that are people that would be interested in what you're offering.
Very demo specific, yeah. And we've done some Facebook advertising. And what do you guys think?
It was basically the equivalent of us taking a novelty cartoon bag of money and pouring it into the world's largest toilet.
What do you guys
It was
suggest?
bad because we set it for I think you went crazy and set it at like $100 a day for 1 week. We're going to do a 7-day trial, so we're throwing about $700 out there. And it does that thing where, obviously it's going to chip away at it until it's all gone. Well, every morning we wake up and we knew that we saw the full 100 was being taken out, but it wasn't like we felt like it was really doing
anything.
Yeah. Right.
But some of them, you have two different options, and I apologize if you guys have already gone over this. And we will stop talking and let you guys ask her. But there's two options. One was like you pay per impression and pay per click. So. And then with the impression, it gets out. We were looking to get our brand out to the most amount of people.
Right.
So it just people see that Tom and Dan,
right?
And on the on their advertising page,
yeah.
So and then the click we weren't as concerned about because we realized it's for people to click on it. It's sometimes unless it really catches your eye I know I get a lot of Tough Mudder, which is ridiculous because I never exercised one time. So I don't know, but I guess it's because it follows in my age demo, young 30s. So a male at young 30s, so they just advertise Tough Mudders. Yeah. And then sometimes I'll click it up because I'm like, you know what, I really should exercise.
I'm going to change my life.
And I click it, I was like, so hard. 2 miles.
Yeah.
Anyway.
They're going to tase me as I crawl under tires? I'd rather just watch cartoons.
Yeah. So I apologize now. So you guys can go back to what you guys want to talk about. I feel like we're asking you dumb questions.
You're asking actually really good questions.
The what?
So what's the question?
The question is, what do you guys think is better? If you're just a small business wanting to advertise, do you think impressions is the way to go, or you think clicks?
I would say from a branding standpoint, like what you were trying to do is CPM, which is cost per thousand. Yeah. Why it's CPM, I don't know. It should be CPT.
Yeah.
But because that's more of a branding thing, and you'll get a lot of clicks and impressions for that money. So.
Yeah. And you can even do A/B testing if you're not sure which one is going to work out better. You can do a small amount of money to each one and seeing which one you're going to pay the lowest amount for. And so we do a lot of that with our Facebook advertisements, and we'll think that cost per click is actually going to be the lowest when it turns out that the impressions is going to turn out to be much lower. So we do a lot of A/B testing, which is something that is very helpful.
Let me ask you this: if
hold on, let me give out the number real quick.
Okay, sorry.
All right, so if you want to call in with your questions, the number is 855-722-0006. Again, that's 855-0. I'm sorry, I messed that up. 855-722-0006. You can call in with any of your questions on search engine marketing, SEO, or social media.
Whatever
Unless we hog all the questions.
Hey, that works too.
I'm sorry.
You want to ask Tom and Dan a question? Go ahead and call in.
Yeah. You can call and ask us a question. We'll tell you exactly what not to do.
Our listeners are a bunch of dodos. They don't know nothing about anything. So
don't call them. They're dumb.
Calling it like it is.
Yeah,
so okay, if I gave you guys a bunch of money, could you make us famous on the internet?
Yeah.
Like
how much money
would
are we
it
talking
take?
here?
Like, I don't know. Like here's the thing. I'm interested in advertising.
Yeah.
And we've done we got buses in town. We just bought a I-4 billboard. That thing is money crazemo.
Oh man!
Oh, see, it looks good.
Every time we come by it just laughs at me, and my baby cries when she sees it because those are meals.
Yeah,
right out of her mouth.
Okay, with your guys' expertise, do you think putting that money into internet advertising would be better than say outdoor advertising? Like say let's say
traditional brick and mortar versus like something that
let's just say I spent
this is because you don't trust anything that's not tangible and you can hold it. He still doesn't trust the internet, and if he can't see it, it's just zeros and ones floating in the stratosphere.
It's an evil force, the internet.
As far as impressions go, say they told me, and I'm just to be cool, bro. They told me about 230,000 people total, and then my total campaign will pass by that I-4 billboard, right? And let's just say supposedly it cost me about $1,000 a week, right?
These are not actual numbers.
They are 100% exactly the number. So could I, if I gave you guys $1,000 a week, could you do more than that billboard, do you think?
Is it on I-4?
On the internet. No, I'm saying $1,000. I'm like, now I want to just do internet advertising.
Don't tell me you're going to sit with your laptop on the side of I-4 in the grass.
Hold it up.
Yeah. And you're just
take a look.
You're just typing wildly. Please click on their banners.
But if small business owners are listening to this and stuff like that, they don't know. And I would listen. We do advertising ourselves, and people and we have. Hey, this is how many people we reach, and this is how many people your commercial will reach and whatnot. So then you got that for everything.
Right.
So do you think internet right now is the best dollar spent because it's new and a lot of bigger companies have yet to they have bled into there, but have yet to put their full force as much as let's say, outdoor or radio or television, Because no one's spending, they're spending $3 million on a 30-second commercial on the Super Bowl. Obviously, reached a lot of people. But could they spend that $3 million to reach more people, advertising on social media or whatever it is,
Well, here's the thing. They both have their place. Like billboards, offline advertising. I think they both are important. But as far as online goes, you have analytics. You can see what kind of action you're getting, what kind of conversions, if it's an e-commerce site or something. That's tangible. That's black and white information that you can get. Yeah. So, yes, if your billboard's on I-4, you're hitting millions of people in a month, probably, or pretty close to that. Yeah.
I mean, it could be a case-by-case basis, too. I mean, it all depends.
But that's all branding.
Yeah.
That's
if you're a smaller, say, market or, smaller business, then the internet might be a little better for you because, there's so much more that you can do. There's a large audience out there. With social media and stuff like that, the only thing with social media, it's kind of a here today, gone tomorrow kind of thing. People forget about stuff so easily, and they're on to the next one.
Sure.
And so, it's that's a tough one, and I think it's kind of a case by case basis. But
do you think because the analytics are so specific and so accurate, and me and Daniel go over this all the time, that it kind of hurts internet advertising and things on the internet because other, let's say, numbers like in radio or billboards.
Well, I mean, maybe we should give some background. Like where we came from doing radio, it was never like you were giving
exact numbers.
Yeah, most of the time it's an estimation of how many people you think have a diary,
based on
have a personal people meter. So it's always based on an equation. versus like, let's say with our podcast, A Mediocre Time, you know, I can give you the region and how many people clicked on it. Now, I can't guarantee you that they actually listened from the beginning of the podcast to the very end, but I do know that they engaged what we gave them.
Right.
You know, so it is an actual number versus an equation.
Right. Yeah, because like sometimes they use TV numbers, but you know, let's say the Nielsen ratings and stuff, like we got, you know, they got 5,000 boxes out there, and they're judging millions of, you know, each box is considered, you know, 10,000 people or whatever. And so then it's not accurate really. And then maybe the numbers are inflated at that point. Like, hey, 8 million people watch this show. Yeah. But then when it goes online, you're like, oh, but only, you know, 800,000 looked at and so then it's like, well, and like for an advertiser, like 8 million is way much more than 800,000. But maybe that 800,000 is closer to the reality of it, of what it actually is. And you think that everything's moving more towards digital now, so those numbers are going to become more and more specific.
Well, that's the one thing with your analytics and with online marketing. If, you know, you got the billboard not for, if people don't like it, it's stuck there. I mean, you got it right there. With online marketing, it's so real time and so specific, and you can tell how people are interacting with what you have going on, that if you can see that nobody cares about it and it sucks, you can change it right then and see what else you can do. So you can change it, you can get it to where people are actually going to interact with it. So that's the one really positive thing about online marketing. So using those analytics, you can really change everything you got going on.
How much of a detriment to you guys and what you guys attempt to do are like ad blockers? You know, like if you're
Zero,
trying,
really.
Because with us, you know, I always worry about that. You know, with our site, you know, we do have ads, and I'm always worried that somebody's going to go in there and potentially block them. Now, I don't think our website is set up for people to do that. It's not like we're not like a Google or a Yahoo or you know, or maybe a content-driven site, like a YouTube. I mean, even though we are a content site, we don't have pop-up ads that traditionally would be filtered out by those. I was just wondering if you run into that.
There's zero worry about that, because every place those ads show up are people that are, you know, using AdSense and want that stuff on their site. So you don't really have any of that pop-up stuff, spam stuff. But one thing I was going to say, too, is I would recommend for your site, if you're looking to brand in a lower cost way of doing it. I don't know if you've heard of retargeting. But that's when people go to your site, and your site, their computer will download a cookie. And what that does, it stores the file on the computer. It's normal. Everybody does it. But so when they leave your site, wherever they go, your banner shows up. Yeah. On different sites. It could show up to 8 times a day if you want.
Really?
Yeah. And you pay a lot less per click on that, and you'll get, you know, it'll keep bringing people back to your site constantly. Yeah. And it shows you, makes you look bigger, you know? Yeah,
you pretty much have a permanent imprint with that retargeting. So no matter where they go, what they do, you're going to be visible. So
Tom's pretty retargeted.
Yeah. And here's the problem. We know just from the analytics, almost 98% of our listeners go to a porno website after us. So.
Well, that's just based on common sense. That's just internet usage, and that's a simple roll of the dice.
But you're right, because if then there's the Tom and they'll remember, okay, go back to Tom and Dan.
Yeah. When you're done.
Hey, happy thoughts all right there.
Yeah. That's engineer, yes or no? Okay. Still yes. Okay, we're still.
They're wheeling me out again.
So, and then also the other thing too is with internet marketing is you can laser focus everything. Yeah. So if you know what your demographic is, you can go straight for the jugular on that.
Okay. 1849 men. Right. Yeah. I mean, you could just pick that.
Yeah. It's probably like
that's a wide.
30. Like if we were at a mean age, it's probably like 35-year-old male. Yeah. Is our demographic, and Central Florida area is our highest listener area. So. Like, you know, if we wanted to target 35-year-old males in the Central Florida area, it's easier, way easier, you know. Like, I feel like, you know, the billboard is just broad net out there. It's like whoever drives by, you see it. So a lot of people see it, that I'm wasting money if you're thinking about it. Like each car, like each old granny that drives by is never going to be listening to our show, and that's a waste of whatever the $1,000 a week. So you're right. It maybe
That's weird because you told me originally when we bought that the only reason we were putting it up was for Granny. That's what I was told. You called it Operation Granny Net. It's very odd that you choose this show to come on and drop these bombs on me.
Here's the thing: I bought OperationGrannyNet.net, but then no one goes to .net anymore.
Well, I bought OperationGranny.net, and it's a whole different website. Do not go to that.
NSFW.
Yeah, it's bad.
Oh God.
I'm sorry for ruining your show.
No, this is great.
It's so funny that the last thing that we'll say on their show is, "We're sorry for ruining your show."
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. The number to call in is 855-722-0006. The number again is 855-722-0006.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's how you can really get your content trending is when you do that retargeting, when you do focus on your specific demographics. Because if you're reaching 65-year-old men or, grandparents or whatever it may be, they're not going to share your stuff. But if you're reaching towards your demographics, that's how things are really going to become viral because they're going to share it with their buddies. They're going to say, you got to check this out or listen to these guys or whatever it may be. So that's where targeting really comes into important.
And also short clips too, right?
Yes.
Because like we started recently doing cartoons where this guy named Swervey Jones was putting together like little clips of our show and putting a cartoon.
He
animates it,
makes them clever and funny.
They're probably like a minute and a half, 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And then those are perfect for like sharing. Hey, this is what we do because people have the ADD. Like I'm afraid my sons are going to be ADD because now they're looking at YouTube videos of puppets and there's like next scroll next. They just like they're only interested for about 30-second spots, and that's basically how people view anything.
I think the ones you guys did with it was a photograph, and then you had the lips moving.
I did those.
Those are awesome.
Very cool.
Yeah, thanks.
Cool.
We did those, but they take. And I'm sure you guys deal with this when it comes to content creating or doing things that you want people, to be engaged with, and you want to trend.
Yeah.
A lot of that stuff takes a really long time to produce. The stuff that and then there's nothing more hurtful than spending, like I would spend, 8 hours doing one of these clips, and you put it out there and you only get, like 2,000, 3,000 views.
Right.
Now, granted, I'm sure there are a lot of people that would hear that and go like, wow, 3,000 views? That's fantastic. I know there's plenty of people that do that. But, for me and for Tom, based on the numbers that we get for podcast downloads, that's, like a drop in the ocean.
Right.
Right.
What's the most inexpensive and for you guys the best way to spend money if it's social media wise advertising? Like I know Twitter now obviously has paid tweets and stuff, but is that close to what Facebook charges?
Not even close. They're not on the same level whatsoever.
Yeah, the clicks are worthless in most cases, but Facebook I found to be very good, and you have retargeting too for Facebook. So if you have an ad and it brings them to the site, they're gonna, or if they just go to your site and then they go to their Facebook page, that ad's gonna follow them wherever they go, and that's a really cheaper way to do it.
Really?
Yeah, it's really cheaper, and your cost per click is gonna be cheap. I mean, it's definitely, Facebook is kind of where it's at. So Twitter, I really wouldn't get into it. Some of the bigger companies, they can spend that money and have that extra resource. But I mean, with my experience, it's a little bit of a waste of money and time.
Is it for Twitter? Yeah, because what I see, all those paid tweets, what I see Twitter is always big companies. Like, it's never someone like us, but like for Facebook, I see a lot of local companies because it could be so localized.
Yeah.
Twitter looks like it's just brought out, like it's pretty broad, right?
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Gotcha.
I know a lot of people get negative reactions from paid tweets because I mean it says like paid tweet on there or sponsored tweet, and people don't want to read that crap. They just kind of go past it. They want stuff that your friends are sharing or somebody else is sharing and stuff like that. So
they get mad.
I only read paid tweets. The only ones I read.
You're the guy. You're the guy they talk
really
about.
Good too.
MySpace. Justin Timberlake.
We actually, when we first set up the podcast, I was in charge of kind of going through and making sure that we locked down. And I'm sure you guys, have talked to other companies and friends that have to do this. You go and you lock down, basically every platform you can possibly think of, whether you need it or not. A Snapchat and Instagram, the newer stuff. Periscope. I know that right now is blowing up. I think the stat. What was it? I think maybe 2 weeks ago they said that the number of Periscope videos in one day had reached like. And this was a lot at the time because it was like brand new. But it was like 5 billion or something, just insane.
Yeah, I didn't hear about Periscope till the Mayweather fight, Mayweather-Pacquiao, and I know nobody could watch it. But hey, you can tune into Periscope and watch it. It's the first time I actually heard of it, but yeah, it's definitely a good outlet to have for sure.
Yeah, and Daniel just realized, like, even broadcasting our show on Periscope, you know, and with like studio quality audio, and then that opens up a whole like new way to like put out content, you know, and like, hey, we just Periscope our show when it's on, and people want to listen live, they just listen through their social media, and it like gives them an alert.
Yeah.
So that's, you know, that's really cool. That's what I realized, like when you're able to go to your customer, and like we have an app, and you know, recently we had to make some changes, but we used to be able to, like, hey, when the show's out, it automatically, you know, puts an alert on your phone,
like a push notification.
Yeah, push notifications and stuff, like, and that's and I know for people that have apps and stuff, like when they receive push notifications, just constantly reminding you.
Oh yeah,
you know,
No,
for sure.
Periscope is a great way to find a new audience, you know, because it's so new, and there's just everybody all over the world.
Mm-hmm. Let me ask you this. Okay, so
you've never said that on the whole show today.
Well,
first question.
I'm getting some good information here, and I'm gonna.
You know, what's funny is that it's funny when you asked us to be on the show. We absolutely love this kind of stuff. Like, we sit, and this is like a conversation you and I would have in the studio.
Yeah.
Like, there isn't a time every single day of our business life that we don't have a conversation extremely similar to this, complete with dumb jokes,
and
where we think about, you know, SEO, Twitter, Facebook, ads, you know, how to get our brand out there.
Yeah.
You know?
So, like, we got the lockdown pretty good on Tom and Dan. So, like, if you search Tom and Dan, we're the first thing that comes up on Google and stuff like that.
I think we are. If we're not, that's very embarrassing.
Y'all are.
So, but if we, what I want
now, there is another podcast in England, by the way. They just haven't broadcast in about 4 years because I think they went off and became megastars, like on BBC 1 or 2, you know, and we kind of took them because we push our name out there a lot more, you know.
Just the more clicks you have on your website and stuff, the more Google's going to put you up on top if you search Tom and Dan. I believe if you
that may not be right. You're spouting that, and
I don't know. Let me ask you that. Like, people have told me, "Oh, you guys are big time," because I searched Tom and then Dan auto, recommendation comes up. But I said, well, that's because you went there before. Like, I'm pretty sure Tom and Jerry would come up before us. It's just based on like logic.
Yeah.
If you never search Tom and Dan before,
and oddly enough,
right?
we look like Tom and Jerry. I mean, that's the funny thing. And you're Tom, the cat, and I'm little Jerry.
Yeah, you're right.
You know, one thing looking at your site, one thing I would recommend, the site being mobile friendly. The reason I say that is because if you're doing advertising on Facebook, about 80% of the people that are on Facebook are on their mobile phone.
Yes.
So you want to make sure that when they come to your site, it's, you know, user friendly for the mobile version too.
Yeah.
That's all part of the user experience that Google preaches, and everything's going mobile.
Yeah.
And so they take that into consideration, especially as a ranking factor, is if you're not providing that quality of a mobile site, since, I mean, I think the numbers were outrageous, like 70% traffic is all from mobile, especially from Facebook, then they're going to take that into consideration because they call it the user experience. You're not meeting that quality line that they want for the user experience. So having it mobile is really crucial.
What were we looking at there?
I don't know. I think that's our website, but
I've never been to that. Is that our website?
I've lost.
It's just a picture of a backhoe digging, and it says under construction. And
that's quality right there.
It says Angel Fire. Is that bad?
So what I was going to ask you with search engine, like if someone searches Orlando podcast, we don't come up.
Right.
How do I make that happen?
Can you do that? I'm going to slide an envelope over to you. It may have some Johnny Greenbacks in it.
Can I just give you monies and you make that happen?
It's like one of those grab bags. You know,
one of the ones that I threw in the toilet.
Could be.
We didn't throw them all in the toilet, sir.
So can I just pay to make that happen?
You can.
Yes, you can.
Okay.
Yeah, you can.
Any problem, throw money at it.
But I heard, though, that Google's changed that, so you can't just throw money to be the top searched.
No,
you actually have.
You can with paid ads.
You can with paid ads.
But not for the searched.
That's all organic. I mean, building how your on page looks between your titles, your meta descriptions, your content on your website. Kind of using keyword focus all within that. Your backlink profile. It's all really about your content, and that's all organic on-page, off-page optimization. So, I mean, you can do the paid, but for the organic results, you can do Orlando podcasts. But, the thing with SEO is you have to be each website, they're like snowflakes. None of them are the same. So each one requires a specific plan for it and implementing that plan. So, it'd just be about changing the content up on your website, having specific areas focused on, Orlando podcasts and stuff like that. So changing those specific things up, you can definitely start seeing some rankings from that.
What about if we put like Bikini Babe of the Day on our podcast and then just put all those pictures, scatter them through the internet and maybe some CD websites, and then so they click on it, comes back to us, and we just get like 5 million downloads, and then we're like, look at 5 million downloads.
People do that, man.
They do that. They do
People
that.
do that.
What is that called? The old tricks. I call that the old trickster.
The old trick. I think
Black
they call
hat.
them black hat doorway pages.
No,
when you're
I got
tricking
you.
the user. So, I mean, I wouldn't complain necessarily, but they call those doorway pages a little frowned upon. As far as Google comes, they find you doing that. You might get one of those little messages that said you received a penalty, and you don't want one of those. But
Oh, really?
Are the Google police?
they're
actually,
strict,
yeah.
man. They'll
What do their
they'll club
uniforms
you
look
over
like?
the head.
Yeah, they look like old bobbies, but they're dressed in all white.
They're dressed in citizens' clothes,
And instead of
civilian
a,
clothes.
instead of
you
a
can't tell.
nightstick, they hit you with a Minecraft sword.
But they, the important thing is to, have some content on your site as far as talking about how it is a podcast in Orlando. The citations of saying, hey, we're in Orlando, that type of stuff is important to help Google understand where you're at and what you do.
Yeah, there's several resources you can use that aren't on your site where you can have your site listed that are going to basically notify Google that this is actually an Orlando podcast. And so those signals that are sent to your site, Google's going to see those and recognize that when somebody does search Orlando podcast, you're going to be relevant in what they're searching, and they're going to provide you in the results.
Gotcha.
You can also help Google understand with link building and that type of stuff too.
Yeah.
This is all very stressful for me. It is, though, because, and do you have anybody that ever, people that come to you with questions about this sort of stuff? And because I think Tom and I have a pretty decent grasp, not 100%, but maybe more than most. But do you ever have people that want or have a question, and we're in so deep now, like it's so complex now that it's difficult for you to get to make them even understand like the concept of what you're attempting to do with SEO.
Well, we do a lot of I have a meetup group that I do once a month, and we have people high up in, like I had Google last week do the meetup with us.
Mr. Google?
Mr.
Did you wear a monocle?
A rare appearance by Mr.
Is he a
Google.
peanut?
I had a Googler do the show with us, and we help a lot of people. So we give out our emails and everything else.
Oh, that's cool, man.
To kind of help people. So
the biggest thing with SEO is setting expectations, because you do get people that come to you and be like, I want to be on page 1 for this, and be like, oh, really? Because, that's Yahoo, that's all these other websites that are on page 1 for it, and you can't compete for it. You
when
can't
people
compete
search
against that.
cars, I want to be number 1.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
exactly.
so
tomorrow.
Okay, I could imagine that there's probably a company out there that has just like a army of employees,
and that should scare all of us.
It's probably, I imagine in China somewhere there's just like 1,000 employees in front of computers.
I think more India maybe.
Or India, and then you call them up and you're like, I want my page to get 1,000 clicks a month, and then you just pay money, and there's like click, 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 and there's just like a sweatshop of clickers. That happens, right? For sure.
Yeah, but Google
I want to
actually
make
can pick
that
up on
if it
that.
doesn't.
Google picks up on that.
Oh,
So
it
because
happens.
it's all coming from some Providence in India,
Yeah.
and they're like, this is fake.
Yeah.
Well, they have it easier now. They have a software program that actually just sits there and just hits the page
Like a bot
over and over.
Okay,
Yeah.
that makes more sense than my sweatshop.
I mean, you'd go out of business in a heartbeat because you've employed like 100,000 Indian men and women that are just hitting the return key 100 times.
That's my new sitcom. It'd be like
It's already been done.
Non-tech savvy entrepreneur. Then I'm just like, I got an idea. I'll hire thousands of people just to hit click a million times. And some guy's like, one software program.
On online, you can pay for followers, subscribers,
Yeah.
views,
Yeah.
likes, all that stuff.
But they've stopped that a little bit nowadays. Like back in the day, early social media, you could be like, I can get like 5,000 or something extra followers for a certain fee, right?
Yeah.
And then they kind of shut that down. I know, like, recently, didn't Twitter just clean out a lot of their users that have been, like are just ghost users? You know.
Yeah.
Then I was a story about like one celebrity that had like maybe Lady Gaga had like 5 million.
Bieber lost a lot too.
5 million just dead users.
Not that I would do
that.
You know Bieber's page.
Might be. Who's that?
So they try to make it more accurate. Like, okay, this is half these people are not even using Twitter anymore.
No, they're not. There's a lot of ghost accounts. They monitor that a lot more now, and even the ones that have those accounts, some of them are even get suspended.
They're still out there.
They're still out there.
It's a total defeating the purpose of having social media. To do that, but
I mean, you could have that many, but it's the engagement that really, at least for us, like we could have the, when you put it in terms, because we come in the podcast world, if you put it in terms of podcasting, we could, again, we could have. We could pay people or have a computer program download our show, 5 million times. But if we do an event and only 20 people show up,
right?
Yeah, then
the engagement level is next to zero.
And I feel like even like on, let's say on Twitter, I got like something 11,000 followers.
Are you trying to brag?
But I feel like I only see about 25 of them actually retweet or talk back and forth.
Yeah.
Out of that, like 11,000, like I got a 25 or 50 people that constantly.
I got like 21,000, no big deal.
but then it goes to say like so out of that many people, only this many people are the ones that are retweeting and engaging you back and forth. So man, you got to have a lot to just have, or like if someone out there had 200 followers and every single one of them was engaged. That theoretically,
well, boy, don't you feel foolish? You've only got 25.
Yeah, but that theoretically would work better promotion-wise to a certain extent.
Oh, definitely.
It's the engagement factor, right?
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if all your users are not engaging, one, your content's not getting in front of other eyes, so it's basically worthless. But and that goes into. If you are a business or, have a show or whatever, you have to engage, tweet out to mention people. I mean, it's all in how you engage with your users. That's going to get them to want to interact with you. And that's where a lot of companies and people that we work with, they'll have a Twitter account and they'll get those followers.
Don't know how to use it.
They don't know how to use it. They'll tweet out stuff and, you got it now to where you can set certain stuff to go out throughout the day.
Schedule.
Schedule.
We do that. Yeah. I did it tonight for a corporate time.
Yeah.
Because I know I'll go to dinner with my wife and I don't want to be sitting there, like stuck to my phone.
Yeah, and that we do that works great, but when you have somebody like respond to it or anything like that, you need to make sure that you're on top of those kind of things, responding to them, because you make them feel cool when you're actually responding to them and they see notifications and all stuff like that. I know I like it when people respond to me and stuff like that, so I'm going to retweet and follow and all that kind of stuff. So that's where a lot of people kind of fall off, is they don't actually interact with the people that they have following them.
Like in the world of SEO, if you guys have a client or a friend or us, people that come to you and say like, hey, I want to rank higher with my particular product, but if their particular, let's say their field of interest is oversaturated with people that they're never going to be able to compete against. Like if you have let's say I had a specialty car shop, and let's say I made one-off cars. This is a weird example, but let's just say I made in Orlando handmade cars. But I want to rank really high in cars. That's just so, Chevy, Ford, obviously they have that on lock.
Right.
Do you guys have to get creative with how you help them with SEO?
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
What we do is we do keyword research, and we look at also doing a competitive analysis on all the competition of, whoever the client may be. And then what we do is we go in and we look at all the different keyword terms and what's getting the most traffic, and then how competitive each keyword is. We break that down, and then we'll go and say, okay, if it's a specific product or model number or something like that, and you're competing against Walmart or something like that, we will, we'll get creative with those keywords and find out if we can dial it down to, maybe a different variation of it.
Yeah.
And then also what that'll do is, it'll help you rank for that specific model or whatever, but getting a variation of that to rank will do, just as good for you.
Yeah, because I know podcasting, it's not like podcasting is going away.
Yeah.
So for the two of us, it's only getting more competitive out there. Luckily, we've been doing it for, 6, 7, 8 years. So it's a little easier for us considering we started a long, time ago.
Yeah,
But
I tell people when they ask, like, you want to start doing a podcast or like, how do I get listeners? I'm like, first thing, don't label your podcast comedy. Because now you're competing against 300,000 podcasts out there that are under the category comedy. And
it's the biggest mistake we ever made.
But every single, we started when there was less podcasts.
We have to do it as a comedy podcast. I mean, there's nothing we can do about it.
But so I'm like, hey, find a different genre. Make it funny, but find maybe a different genre, a different category to fit yourself in where you have less competition.
Exactly.
And then just make it funny there.
Yeah.
So.
All right, guys, let me give out the number real quick. It's 855-722-0006. You want to call in with your questions. Again, and that's in search engine marketing, SEO, social media. We can answer your questions.
Yeah, good luck because Tom's here.
I'll tell you.
It's Tom versus phones. Tom wins.
I love it.
I want to do a tech show with me and my pop where we just sit there and
that's who I was thinking of when I was talking to them about explaining SEO to somebody that couldn't even grasp the internet. That's exactly who I was thinking about.
I gave my pop my old Gateway computer like 5 years or maybe 8 years ago, whatever, and I gave it to him, and he liked to play solitaire, so I showed him how to turn it on, which is never turned off in literally 5 years.
Oh, wow.
It's a tip of the hat to Gateway.
No, it's already burned out.
Oh,
it's on, though.
It's
the
just glowing.
And there's spiders living inside.
Really just a spider fire hazard.
Nightlight.
And I thought to myself, I'm like, I'm going to set it up. It's in his garage, by the way. And I'm like, I'm going to show him how to use email, right? So he had, like, I set him up with the AOL. And I'm like, okay, Pop, listen.
It's like the blind leading the blind.
I'm going to show you how to use email, and then you could email me as like a letter through the internet. And I'm like, and he's like, no idea. But I'm like, he's like sending me a letter. But he's like, okay. So then I was like, here's my email address, blah, 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 sexyboy69 at AOL. That's my, it was back in from the 90s. And then and then he's like, wait a minute, hold on, go back. How did you do that? I'm like, this is the, he's like, how'd you make the words appear on the screen? He didn't even know keyboard. He didn't even have a grasp of keyboard. And then I was like, never mind. This is never going to happen.
Yeah,
so,
do you guys run into some of that with maybe clients or people that...
No, not that extreme.
Not that extreme.
But there's some, I mean... I feel like everybody's got to have a website now. Like, say you make good barbecue. You're a barbecue restaurant. You're the best damn food in the world because that's what all you know how to do is you smoke meat. Is delicious, right? But like someone, your son comes to you like, Dad, get a website because you're falling down the competition. And then so he creates a website. He pays someone to create a website, but he's not utilizing it as much as he should because just having a website isn't enough nowadays.
No, absolutely not.
So you got to use search engine optimization, and you have to use social media, and you have to keep bringing people to that website.
And to take it full circle, like you said earlier, mobile. I think, I mean, I love our website, but I think the vast majority of the people that engage us on our podcast are using like the Apple podcasting app or our own app. Everything is apps. I mean, our website is good if they want to get a hold of us or talk to us. But as far as like using our content, I mean, it'd be interesting. I don't even think we've even boiled that down recently to see what they use the most.
Yeah. And let me ask you a question.
Haven't heard that.
And maybe it's just me, but some mobile sites, like I constantly try to go down and click like I want to see the regular site because it's just more user friendly. So I feel like sometimes some people like me that may be more towards pop-up, like even when I'm using my bank site, I constantly want to go back to the regular site because it's easier to navigate. Like the mobile site gets confusing. So
we have so many questions for you guys. How about this one? I was thinking of one on the way over here. What's up with PayPal, man? The new interface?
Yeah.
Oh, my Lord. I can't even use it.
No.
One thing I did want to bring up to you guys before the end of the show is that you say you have a mobile app. Google now shows that in search.
Oh.
So you can add that as another thing along with tomanddan.com. It takes a little bit of a markup and technical side to it, but your app will show right there with your site, and that'd be great branding.
And that's huge mobile and mobile search results because they can click on it, download right there, and then instead of just having to go through your site, maybe finding it, accidentally finding it, having it show up in results.
I'd like the app to be above the site. You know, I mean, that'd be totally okay with me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's good. I mean, we will definitely. Here's the thing. I feel like
having fun with you guys.
We just got a bunch of free information, so we'll go back there
You
and
think
be,
it's
and be
free.
rich.
You think it's free. Yeah. You're not leaving here. Yeah.
I saw two girls hauling money that said Tom and Dan on it, and they're heading for a toilet.
That's awesome. And so, okay.
Let me ask you a question.
Is there anything else that we're missing from our conversation now? You know, we talked about social media, you know, searches and stuff. Anything else that's just new out there that people don't know about?
Oh man,
is there like anything of like this, like right now, the hottest new thing? Like there's Periscope is like the hottest new social media aspect. Can you? I don't think you can even advertise on.
Take that, meerkat.
Can you advertise on Instagram?
It's on. What do you on Instagram? Yeah, I've seen some sponsored Instagrams. And you know what? I'm not a fan.
Yeah,
you know, because they do something that I can't do. They allow you to swipe left and right, and the picture is 2 to 3 to 4 times bigger.
Yeah,
and it's like a panoramic photo, and I can't do that.
Yeah.
So why are you going to allow Chevy or Ford or you know Target to do that? That's not fair.
Yeah, it shouldn't be like that. I'm sure they're not meaning it to be like that.
Well, I don't think they think that we're going to think about that.
Yeah.
You know, like they're just like, oh, what, Target? $7 million? Panoramic. You know,
We'll give you whatever you want.
They get the whole thing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, as far as SEO goes, there's not really new things that are coming out. It's really search engines, you know, Google is fine-tuning how they're providing results. So the old way of SEO, you know, Robert's been in the business for a long time. I've been in it for, you know, quite a bit of time. You used to be able to do a lot of things to basically manipulate search engines. And so really they're fine-tuning that.
And Google's still the big dog, right? I mean, there's nobody attempting to. I remember Bing tried it.
No, I heard Ask Jeeves is coming back.
I think it's Ask.
The butler.
Ask
It's just Ask now. They got rid of Jeeves.
Yeah,
they fired him.
Yeah, so,
Or maybe he died.
he might have.
But Yahoo's actually looking into being powered by Google, so that's one of the competition.
That's what you do. He goes to Yahoo and types in Google.com, and then he goes to Google. That's
Yahoo.com.
I Google Yahoo. The other way around.
Yeah. So no, I mean they're just continually fine tuning how they provide results, how SEOs can basically do their job. They make it more difficult on us almost every single day because you have to get more creative. Your strategy has to be so fine tuned to your specific, you know, client, website, whatever it may be. So there's not much new coming out. It's more they're fine tuning on how they've done things, you know, and the big thing they're preaching right now is user experience. You know, they don't care about keywords or anything like that. Everything's user experience, how people are interacting with your website.
Gotcha. Cool.
Well, guys, I think we're about we got about a minute left.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, thanks for inviting us. I hope we didn't Shanghai and destroy your program.
No,
it was
great.
awesome.
It was a lot of fun, man. We should definitely do it again. You guys can feel free to come on our show.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, we
We'll do
appreciate
it.
you guys coming. You helped us out a lot.
Yeah,
Sure.
thanks for listening to the episode 12. Thanks, Tom and Dan, for coming in. It's such an awesome to have you guys here.
No problem.
Or so
Our
awesome.
pleasure.
Can't talk.
Search Talk Live is a presentation of the Robert Palmer family of companies.